Welcome everyone and welcome. Well, I already said welcome. Fuck this intro. All right, so today we have got season 5, round 12 of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and I have got a special guest. I've got Stiggy with me, and together we form the TNT combination. Welcome, Stiggy.
Hello, how are you all doing? Yeah, it should be a good race tonight. I'm looking forward to watching this. It's quite weird sitting on this side of the commentary box as opposed to actually being in the cars. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Right. I mean, I was kind of surprised that you were not going to be racing. Although, I mean, your P2 is already confirmed, so yeah, there was not really a point of racing. But I do understand that you would like to be here today with me in the comms box together with the guys in the chat.
Yeah,
So we're gonna get straight into the introduction as there's not too much time left before the qualifying is gonna be starting. Previous race we had the Miami Grand Prix. Right before that we had the Belgian Grand Prix, which was cancelled. So actually, the Miami Grand Prix was quite a big race to look forward to. We had Shea Oliver getting that P1 position, Orion Lemons came in P2, and then we had Sintendal in P3. Track information wise, I'm gonna leave that up to Stiggy. So off you go.
yep. So we've got 16 corners here around Abu Dhabi. The previous quali pole time round here in last season was a 1:23.778 by J Horse. So we're expecting drivers to be touching on the low 24s, high 23s today. Is what we expect from the guys of this tier. So yeah, it should be a decent qualifying. I'll pass back to you, Tom.
Yeah, as you guys could see, the track is going to be Yas Marina Circuit in the United Arab Emirates country. Then we had a population of 10 million, and the first Grand Prix ever held in 2009. Of course, that is in the actual F1 track layout wise. You guys are able to see, as Stiggy said, 16 corners. It is going to be 29 laps as we've got a short qualifying and a 50% race here in the Champions Division. And the best overtaking opportunities to happen in turn 5, turn 6, turn 9, and sector 2 straight, as you've got to DRS straights right in sector 2. So coming out of turn 7, you've got, if you have a good exit though, you're going to be able to make that move work with the use of DRS. But sometimes we see people struggle during that little chicane in turn 6, 7. Where they're not going to have good traction coming out of that corner, and that way you're not going to be able to make that move work if you don't have the suitable setup right there. Also coming out of turn 5, as I said, a good overtaking opportunity, also with the use of DRS. And then we've got turn 9 along left-hander, where we are probably going to be either seeing a lot of overtakes or either seeing a lot of spins, as you don't have good traction through that corner. Well, depends on the setup, of course. Circuit length is going to be 5.2 kilometers, so not too long of a circuit. The quali record is also not that, well, how do you say that? High, if that makes sense. I mean, we've got Belgium with a 141. Then, I mean, this is 20 seconds slower, so faster. Yeah, makes sense. Race distance is going to be 153 kilometers, so that is also not too much, as usually most tracks are around 156. So 3 kilometers slower. I mean, less. And yeah, strategy wise, I'm going to leave that up to Sticky once again.
Yeah, thank you. So, your drivers today, there's basically 3 strategies for today. We've got the starting on the mediums, doing 12 laps, then moving on to the hard tyres. You may also expect drivers to do the opposite of that. I know there's a few people in this tier who want to run on the hards first, then get the mediums at the end. We might have a couple of runners running a soft start and then a hard to the end to try and get some positions, or keep pace to sit in a DRS train, as it will help them in the long run. And then there's a possible chance we might have a couple of drivers running a two-stop, so medium, medium, hard, and this will probably be more favourable as well if there is a safety car in between the two pit windows during the race. The main race pace we're expecting today is around the 1 minute 26s. So yeah, last season we had Che with a 1:25.977 as the fastest lap of the race last season round. So expecting anywhere in the 26s and 27s for the average race pace. Passing back.
Oh, perfect. So we always do a prediction, and of course, today it is going to be the last race of the season. So we're gonna be doing a prediction too. I'm gonna be leaving it up to you first to do a little prediction. So on the right side, you can see everyone who is attending, and that way, I mean, you can put your top three, biggest winner, biggest loser, and then of course amount of safety cars. Up to you.
Yeah. So I'm probably expecting a Che win here. He's always been quick. Is he even racing tonight?
I
Doesn't
think
actually
he
look like
has.
he's even attending.
Oh no, he's not.
If he's not actually, no, unless he's attending late, but he might still be away. Well, it opens up a chance here for the likes of J Hawes and Orion to get some decent points. Simp and Dahl as well to get some high points. So those will be the top three, I think. Probably if J Hawes keeps it on the road, he's always had a lot of pace around here. So I'm fingers crossed for him. He'll be able to take this race home with a win. Orion, with it being a dry track, he'll be able to finish second, I think, today. Simp won't be too far behind. Personally speaking, I want my boy Matt Martin to do well, obviously my teammate. In terms of biggest winners, we've got people like Just Dave who's quite good at getting a lot of positions. The same thing goes to Brashman as well. They might struggle in qualifying, but get a couple of positions during the race, just with sheer consistency. Biggest loser, well, it's a difficult track this is, so it's more dependent really on who has a spin. Obviously, we want it to be a clean race, but I don't know if Milan will be able to. Might have an accident and spin it round, so he might lose today. Possibly one safety car, but again, could be another one as well later on once drivers start to get tired.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I do believe I don't know why Milan is actually in champions because I thought last week he was in the lead. Might be a little surprise here for the Williams driver trying to keep up with the top of the field. My top three is gonna be, well, it's gonna be the same as you except for Jay Haas. I don't think Jay Haas is gonna be in the top three. I'm thinking Matthew Martin is gonna be doing something great today. And my biggest loser is going to be Intronsic. My biggest winner is going to be Torment. Amount of safety cars, I'm going with two. Abu Dhabi. Coming out of that turn three is kind of dangerous. So I would see a safety car right there. I think we're going to be seeing that in the qualifying too. So
Yeah, I think
I
we're
mean,
going to
of
be seeing
course,
some possible race accidents as well with the long left hand with Hector. Possibly drivers on the hard tyres once they've either at the start of the race when they're cold, they're starting to wear down. There's just a massive traction issue around that corner, so drivers not running assists could have some serious problems there and have a spin or two. I know I did.
most definitely, yeah. I mean, coming out of turn nine, it's always chaos. Because you take a tight line, you take an inside line, and it's just going to be colliding because the guy on the inside line is going to go wide and the guy on the outside line is trying to go tight, so it's always a collision.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of convergence into that corner. It's possible that, as you said, they're more likely than not to converge on the curb on the outside, and that curb is currently quite notorious for being an auto spin. But hopefully we'll see some clean racing tonight and a lot of action. Last race of the season, let's make it count.
Yes, sir. We would like to see a great race from everyone here. Hopefully, everyone can keep it clean, as you said. Rob, I'm seeing a lot of guys leaving and joining back the session, so we might be looking at. Oh, just Dave who spins it already. Loses the front wing right there. But we might be seeing maybe a lobby restart. I mean, always when people are leaving the session and joining back, it's almost always going to be a restart of the session. So we might be looking at that, taking that in consideration. Yeah, I mean, up to you.
We'll see how we are. I'm just currently riding on board with Milan at the moment. He's just going through into the last sector now. He think he's got some clear road apart from Mercedes, and he's ran wide through the end of that final sector, so he's actually kept it somehow clean. So I think he'll try and finish up a lap. No, he's abandoned it. He's coming into the pits then. Looks like J Hawes is halfway through his lap on the middle sector now as well. So I'm expecting some good points here from J Hawes. Let's see how he does. Do you want to ride on board with him into the middle sector? Going through that long left-hander now. And he keeps it tidy, using all the road that he's got available to him. J Hawes, he's quick and he's been out of this for quite a while, but it's always good to see him really give it some hammering.
A fun fact in the chat right now, Grey Bush Racing says all champion drivers are using hacks, should be called Champenhaar. What's your opinion on that? Because I know you're a champion division driver too. You're currently in P2.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, I said over P2 this season, and I was the champion of the season prior as well. Actually, I was the defending champion this season and lost it. You know, I mean, you've got a couple of guys here on PC, but the majority of players are PlayStation users and can't really hack. But you know, these are a quick bunch. We're all a quick bunch. You know, it's quite a weird scenario, really, because some of the speed that these drivers, including myself, have got, you know, takes a couple of years, really, to keep up this sort of speed. You know, but after all, it's just repetitive practice. You know, you don't get quick by, you know, playing the game once every 6 weeks. So, in which the majority of these guys are very quick. So.
Yeah, I played the game myself. I used to be like a semi-professional racer. I'm not gonna be saying I was like top level, but I was like in the 2021 game I was like top 1% on each track. I kind of lost hope for this game, stopped racing, got myself into commentary, and yeah, I mean, I'm attending that World Cup thing that's gonna be next week.
Yeah.
Not mistaken. Bro, I haven't touched the racing wheel for like 3 months. I don't know how to race anymore.
I hope I'm not racing you then, but no, you know, I haven't had the best couple of World Cups. I mean, yeah, I was hosting with Jamaica actually last time. We did actually win. I won the World Cup for Jamaica, but the year prior, yeah, for Germany, it wasn't my best. But I'm just looking here, Simpendar with a 23.3 already. They've already blown the previous pole time well out the water, so Stimp is some serious speed at the moment. You've got Orion on a 23.9, over half a second behind him. Currently, though, still waiting for the likes of Jay Hawes and Matt Martin to set a competitive lap. But yeah, looks like the track evolution is playing dividends tonight.
I'm reading here in the chat, Matthew Martin says, the hacks make my connection go dead all the bloody time. The hacks from the champion driver.
Yeah. You clearly got a hack client, Matt. Absolutely.
It's probably me who's using hacks to capture all the footage, because every time I'm joining the lobby, everyone is leaving the session for some reason.
Yep. I'm just seeing something comment there actually.
Greybush Racing asks who I'm talking to, so maybe you can introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, I'll introduce myself. So yeah, I'm Stiggy. I'm actually a driver in this tier, Champions tier, but the reason for my commentary tonight is I've already secured the second in the championship, so I thought I'd join the comms team for a bit of a Martin Brundle, Jensen Button-esque, you know, driver's eye point of view for the race tonight. So yeah, no, it's good to be here. It's been the first time commentating actually on a race properly, so yeah, it's going well so far. There's a lot of consistency. I'm seeing Bratchman and Veloster N 0.004 of a second between each other at the moment for third and on the grid, closely followed by Blue New Soul, literally 0.02 of a second behind him. And I've just seen, I believe, is that Jay Hawes coming back out onto his... No, Jay Hawes actually about to start a lap, I think. Yeah, he is. Jay Hawes on a lap. I want to ride on board with him here because I'm hoping for some good results here from Jay Hawes. Purple Sector 1 from him. Very delicate out of the long left-hander. DRS wide open. Let's see how he's doing. He's clearly running at not a lot of wing. He's going to be nearly 205 miles an hour as he brakes onto the chicane. Yeah, you can tell he's practiced this one, I think. Using second gear, though, which is quite surprising. Most drivers will be using third. Oh, Jay Hawes has spun it! Commentator's curse on Jay Hawes already. This is upsetting.
Yes, sir. You know, just when you screamed into your microphone fell away. It was like, what?
Probably a good thing, to be honest, because otherwise you'd have pierced ears.
Don't worry. I muted your microphone to a certain thing that the guys are not going to be hearing any voice cracks or like anything like that. So I mean, what's your opinion on Milan here? Because he used to be an Apex driver. Wait, what is Apex again? Is that the third division?
Yeah, I think it is. Apex is the third division, but
he used to be a Apex driver until 3 races ago. Then he switched back to Elite, and right now he's in Champions Division, putting a third fastest lap on the board.
Yeah, it's a weird scenario really for him. I think I've raced him before, and he's got a decent amount of pace. Yeah, you know, but I'm not sure if his racing experience can already do with a bit of polishing. Really, I know sometimes he's had, you know, an accident here or there that could have been avoided. But you know, it's all part of the development, really. You know, but it's good to see him in the top tier, and clearly he's earning his keep. You know, he's just beaten Brashman and Hyundai to the low one at 24-1s, so he's clearly earning it well here. Actually, speaking of Brashman, the game has just put me on board with him, and he's halfway through his lap now as well. I'll let you take this one, Tom.
All right, so coming into turn 6 and 7 right here, quite a difficult sector, as I'm going to be putting my lap data and the telemetry on real quick, as we would be able to see what kind of gear he is going through each corner. Going down the main straight here, good overtaking opportunity, as I said already. Coming into turn 9, he's got the fastest second sector, but that might be a glitch, as you guys know already. He is up by 800s right now, coming into sector 3. So he's got a little bit of people right in front of him. We've got the McLaren driver and the Alfa Romeo driver in sector 3. He is on a fast lap, though. He takes all those curbs till the limits. And I do think this is definitely going to be an improvement for the Mercedes driver. But where is he going to come out? Is it going to be in the top 3? Or does he have to let Milan get past? Brashman puts himself in P2 with a 2/10 improvement of 123.8 as he has beaten Orion Lemons.
Yeah, he'll be happy with that one for sure. They're P2 so far for Brashman. That's a good lap. So, yeah, that's a good lap. Like I said, they're knocking on the doors of Jay Hawes' pole time from last season. I mean, Simp is so far in front, though. This is that is some serious speed there from Simp. That is impressive. Yeah, currently Brashman holding up the Mercedes camp today. I mean, we've only had an accident from Jay Hawes and Che, not racing clearly, as Jay Hawes has had his seat. But Brashman will be pleased with that. You can tell Brashman is running some traction control. I don't know if it's medium or full, but I think Brashman should have it off for next season anyway. He's getting to the start running with it off. But yeah, good
Most
luck.
definitely F123 is going to be way better with traction. And I didn't think, well, in my opinion, the reason for me not driving anymore was the traction, because I used to be no traction in 2021. And I switched over to 2022, and I wasn't even able to use medium traction. So it was kind of chaotic. I do still think these problems are, well, still up to date. But I do think that the 23 game is going to be way better traction-wise. So yeah, we might be seeing Brashman using that no traction next season. As I'm reading the chat real quick, all champ drivers should have it off along with ABS. What's your opinion on that?
Well, I mean, this is still a growing league at the moment. You know, I mean, in terms of PGR, it's leaps and bounds of where it was 6 months ago in terms of the amount of players we've got. A couple of seasons ago, we were struggling to get a champions tier worth of 10 people, and now we've got 16, and myself and Che, including making that 18 if we actually turned up, you know, and raced. But yeah, no, I think whilst you've got a lot of players developing themselves and trying to get better at the game, I think it's beneficial for them to run assists at the moment. But I expect once we start getting a lot more players in the league, we'll be able to tier differently and hopefully have a non-assist tier or a reduced assist tier at least. But it's good to see, you know, a lot of drivers at similar speed, whether they're running assists or not. It doesn't really pay any dividends too much, mainly in the wet. As we see Milan here, just at a 23.8, so it's currently P2. Again, Milan, I think, is running some levels of traction control as well. I don't actually know how many users aren't running it. I think myself and Che are 2 of them. But I think with some development, drivers will be able to turn them off, hopefully, next game as well.
There's also a lot of people who are using controller, and I think not using any DC or ABS is going to be way more difficult on a controller than it is on wheel. So on wheel you've got, well, your foot, which has way more, how do you say that, way more like
I feel progressiveness. Yeah, it's much more progressive on a pedal for sure.
And like with a controller, you just have your finger, and like the slightest inch is gonna be putting yourself in the wall or something like that. So it's really difficult. And I do know that Entronsic is using a controller. I do think that Milan is also using controller, so taking that in consideration, he's really fast on controller. But I do know a lot of people who use a controller, and they are top 10 or top 20 in the time trials. So and they're using no assists. So not too sure if it's really worth to discuss whether you're using a controller or a wheel, but in my opinion, from my point of view, I'm a wheel driver. It's way more difficult on controller than it is.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I've ran wheels for racing games for the last 14 years. You know, I couldn't run on a controller at all. I don't think without running assists, it's a lot more difficult. So credit where it's due. You know, drivers not running assists on a pad is takes a lot of practice. There's so much less feel and progression to the pedals on the controller, but there's a lot more feel on the PS5. To be fair. Just while you were talking, I was on board with FishTech, and he actually extended turn 1 by a country mile and kept it apparently legal. So he's coming through the final corner now. Let's see where he puts this. It's a 24.0, so he's got a surprising amount of pace, although we did see him go half a mile on the outside of turn 1, so there might be some track extension there going on. Let's just see who else. Oh, on board with Brashman, actually. This will be Brashman's last run, I think, here then. Let's see, going on board now into turn 3 and 4. He keeps his foot planted over the curbs. That's a good line there from Ben. Let's see how he does in the first sector. It's an improvement, nearly purple. That's his second gear through the hairpin, using the traction wisely there. He comes out, DRS wide open down the back straight. Yeah, he'll be happy with this first sector for sure. Let's see how he does into the chicane. This won't be easy for him. Probably a bit too much curb there on the entry, but decent on the exit. Let's see what line he takes through the DRS. Yeah, keeping it nice. It's a good line, that is fair. There is somebody, I think there's a Red Bull in front of him at the moment. It's going into the long left-hander now. This is where running TC will pay dividends here, because he'll be able just to mash that throttle down and deal with it later. Yeah, that's a good line there from Ben. Down now into the 2 fast right-handers, hard on the brakes, into third. Using second, actually, there. Must be on automatic. Oh, that was close there from Ben. He keeps it in the white lines, though. Last couple of corners now. Flat out into the first one and down to third onto the second corner. Yeah, decent exit. This will be a good lap again. He does improve. It says 123.7. Still not enough for pole, though, but he won't be upset with that at all. Just looking now, Simpendal is about to start his last lap, but let's see who else we can go on board with if you want to take this one over, Tom.
I'm taking a look at Orion Lems right now, who just came across the first sector line as he improved by 75,000. So
that was purple as well, yeah.
Yeah, it was purple. So I do think he's going to be able to put it up in the top 3 as he can. Well, hopefully he can keep it consistent here coming into sector 2. Turn 6 and 7 right now. He goes through that corner in gear 3. So that's definitely a suggested gear to go through, because when you're in gear 2 with no traction, you're going to be either spinning or not having good traction through that corner. Now, he also has the fastest second sector, my screen says, so it's going to be a 3/10 improvement, which at the moment will put him in P2. Let's have a quick look how many tenths he can improve here in sector 3 as he just makes it through that fast right-hander into the fast left-hander, and then once again another fast left-hander. So definitely sector 3 with a lot of fast right left-handers as the qualifying just ended. So what is this time going to be for Orion Lemons as he just comes around the last corner with a little bit of a snap, and he just nearly makes it into P2. Almost beats Simpendal there, but he comes 2 hundredths short.
So I've just been riding on board with Simp through most of it. I think Simp is running medium traction, but he's just seeing if he's purple. He was a 10.5 down in the first. He's not going to improve here, so Simp clearly had a very good lap at the start. He's 3/10 down now. I'm wondering if Milan's in one that can beat him. Milan's it. Oh, he's lost his lap. Milan went wide through the chicane and cut it. That's a real shame. Milan was purple first, so was looking for a good lap there. So he's given up. Let's see who else.
Blue and Soul just improved by 2 tenths as he puts himself in P3, so he beat Brashman out of the top 3 right there. Also, Milan has been pushed out, so good lap from Blue and Soul. Not something I would have expected from the Aston Martin driver here around Abu Dhabi. So yeah, we're going to be having a top 3 of Simpendal, Orion, and Blue and Soul. What's your opinion of that?
I was quite surprised. It's a real shame that J Horse couldn't get a lap in. I think he would have been up there, but again, great result from Blue and Soul, getting it to third. And you know, he's always been quite consistent, and he might be able to actually catch one of the guys in front of him at the start, depending on how aggressive he wants to run. Again, Brashman P4, quite expected. It's a shame for Milan he didn't improve and just ran wide. Fishtech, Veloster, and Tronzik should be happy with those results, though. Looking further down the grid, Dave, I think, actually left the session. Torment P10, haven't really been on board with him much, but again, a decent result. Looking here at Matt Martin, P11 for him, so not too bad.
A little bit more information on Dave. I think Dave crashed out in Sector 1 coming into Turn 3 as he went into the wall. I saw that while you were talking about Brashman, I think. Not too sure, but the guys are able to see the screen on, well, the results on screen right now. So we've got a Dutch pole sitter, then we've got 3 British driver and a Belgian driver to finish off the top 5. Further, we've got Fish Dagman, Hyundai, and Tronzik, Just Dave, Torment, Matthew, Big Harv, Nola C, Hassan, Rob Williams, and the only driver who hasn't been able to put a lap in, J House.
I'm just looking here at Simpendal's first lap. 17.3 in the first sector was unmatched by any driver in the first sector that he ran. That was a very good, that was a bank lap for him as well. That's 23 from Simp. But yeah, decent qualifying overall. It's about time to go back to the race here. Just looking at the Discord, looks like a couple of people have been booted from the race, one of them being J Horse, who's just managed to join back in time. I think Matt Martin's having some struggle again, which is a real shame for Alfa Romeo, which does put my constructor's P2 in at risk. Might have to join and go from the back here.
I'm having a quick look in the Discord. Apparently it's a wet race in the elite division, so we're gonna be having some more laps later this evening.
It's a wet race in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
No way.
It is. Quite funny though.
Is it Fear that's hosting that, or is it Power Grid themselves?
I think it's Schreiser. Not too sure.
Okay, let's see in here.
For some reason, Milan was supposed to be an elite, but he joined champion.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter too much. He's clearly earned his keep doing that one. It's a decent qualifying from him, so I'm just waiting for the players to load up onto the grid now. But this could be a good race here. It's you know, it's a bit anticlimactic that Che's not here, but it does give a lot of drivers a big chance to get huge point hauls here. You know, again, it's a shame that J Horse couldn't put a lap in, because I think he'd be up on near pole as well. And but I mean, Simpendal with a great lap there, he's going to be a big threat. I think next game as well for myself and Che and Orion. So yeah, it's good to have a lot of competition. But yeah, this should be a good race.
Great Bush Racing in the chat says J House coming back to a podium. Do you feel like that's going to be happening, or?
I hope so. It'd be good for him. I think he'll learn that quite well. But we'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're most definitely going to be seeing a crash in the top 5, though. It's always like that. I'm having a look at the tires right now, if you want to go through them. It's all up to you.
Yep. So let's have a quick look here. Let me jump on to add my tyre telemetry. So we've got the top 7 drivers all on the hards, so that clearly means that they're going to be running along into the first stint. Tronzik on the mediums, so he's going to hopefully try and make up some positions in the first stint and then do the defending later. Just Dave on the mediums, Matt Martin on the mediums, but he's left again. Sorry, on the hard, sorry. Torment takes the mediums. The biggest one to watch out for at the start actually is Hassan. He's taken the soft tyres at the start, fresh set of softs. So I wonder if he wants to try and get into that top 10 as fast as possible, and either push a 2-stop or run long on the softs and do a 1. Maybe he's heading out for a safety car. We'll have to wait and see here. 16 drivers on the grid. It's perfectly possible that some accidents could happen.
Sir, Hassan is definitely going for a VB Thomas strategy. Well, you told me I needed to delete that soft hard. It's still there.
I know. I've clearly made that. I've made a mistake now. I didn't think it'd be
Oh
possible.
no,
But
no, it's still
Hassan's the
there. It's still
bullet
there in the
here.
second. In the second, it's still there. So Hassan has gone for a VB Thomas strategy. I like the risk though, but I still don't know whether he's
He,
going for a soft medium or a soft hard.
he was watching the stream. He just wanted some good. He wanted some advice here from the stream. In terms of setup wise, it's quite a low drag setup. Personally speaking, anyway, you're sort of running, about 2016 wings, 2017 wings. So it's quite low drag because you've got them two massive straights. Doesn't matter how fast you are in the middle sector, you'll lose out a lot more time on the straights than you think, especially on race pace. So all the drivers queued up on the grid now. I'm gonna pass back to Tom for the start of this race.
Yes, sir. You were talking about how you are going to be running low wings. Well, I do think that it's also going to be beneficial in Sector 3 because, I mean, when you're running high wings, you're going to be able to defend better. But I think even with low wings, you're going to be having a hard time overtaking someone through Sector 3. But we're going to be starting the race here, Season 5, Round 12, and we're already going underway. Who is having a good restart? It seems like Blue and Soul has an amazing restart there off the line as he has made his past Brashman already. Orion right now is trying to defend the position from Brashman. It seems like Brashman is going through turn 3 and P3 as we're looking at Intronsic. Ooh, up to you right now.
So Blue and Soul has made a good start. You see Blue and Soul doing exactly what I wanted to do here and get on the back of the leader. He'll be pushing hard here. Let's have a look. Brashman managed to get to third. Orion losing out at the start. Let's have a look. Hassan keeping his nose clean, it looks like. Still down in P14 at the start, though. Let's have a look here. There is a battle for the medium. Just Dave goes past Big Harv. Fish Tech looking at a move up the inside of Torbet, backs out of it. There's some contact behind, I think, as J-Horse might have had to tap a damage there. Oh, J-Horse has spun around on the back of Just Dave.
Yeah, that was a very interesting crash right there as they went 3 wide through turn 6 as we had Big Harv making a deep dive moment down the inside of Just Dave, which didn't leave him too much room to go out of the way of J-Haas. So I'm not too sure whose fault that was, but from my POV, it looked like J-Haas went a little bit too deep into turn 6, which made Just Dave crash right there.
Yeah, so just back to end the first lap now. Simp keeps his lead, but surprisingly, Blue New Soul has managed to stay within the second of him. Same for Brashman as well, but Orion will be very angry with that start. Starting second and falling down to fourth is not what he needed at all for this, really. But he'll be happy to sort of keep in the DRS train. I think somebody spun actually in the last sector. It is Big Harv. He's made a little error on those medium, but I think keeps his nose out of the keeps his nose on the car. So Matt Martin though is still DNF to like he'll be racing tonight at all. The lost at ends made a quick spin in the end of the first sector. And Orion's managed to get past Brashman going into the long hairpin, but they're now going to be 3 people battling for P3 here. Milan wants to move on Brashman. Brashman wants to move on Orion. Looks like Milan is going to make a move on Brashman here. They're going to go side by side into the chicane. Milan's gone for it. They're leaving just enough. This has been decent racing, leaving just enough space for the Anizar. Brashman's just shut the door on Milan there. Milan's not having any of this. He's going to have a look anyway. He's leaving not. Milan goes down the inside onto the long straight. Brashman might try and hang it around the outside. Or does he yield? He does yield. He might try and get a better exit. No, I think Milan's got that one covered. Nice move there from Milan. Set it up a few corners ago, but does keep it clean. Considering Brashman closed the door on him there. Doesn't look like anything else happening behind, but Brashman will want to try and keep in that 1 second gap to those lead 4. Just looking now, Blue New Soul 1.5 seconds off Simp already. Anything from you?
Oh, just what looks very surprising there. We're looking at Hassan and Nosley. Both Haas drivers got 5 positions in those first 3 laps already. So good race start from them. Also, Rob Williams and Jay Haas have got 4 positions. Even with Jay Haas crashing out there in turn 6, still 4 positions gained, which is not too bad. Right now, I'm having a quick look at Brashman, who's not able to keep up with the toe of its Milan. He does have Torment right on his tail. Torment who's running the medium tires right now, coming down the main straight. He will have the DRS, as DRS is already enabled, if I'm not mistaken. And he goes and try around the outside. Orion Lemon seems to have made a move on Blue and Soul.
Yeah, he's
right
gone round
there.
the outside of Blue and Soul. Very easy. But Blue and Soul wants it back. He's not having enough of this. Blue and Soul has got a lot more battery on tap here than Ryan's dumping that battery. So Blue and Soul will not have an answer to him going down here. All he just needs to be patient and try his best to stick with him, because Orion's had to dump a lot of battery to make that overtake. Meanwhile, Simp sitting pretty 2 seconds clear of the cars behind, so he'll be happy just to try and control the pace and control those tyre temperatures.
Fish Deckman now in a heated battle with Torment as Brashman, as it is going to be a 3-way battle. 4p5 at the moment. Torment, who is keeping that toe of Brashman quite nicely here. The Alpine driver who has been who has joined this tier 2 races ago, if I'm not mistaken, and he definitely makes up. Well, he tries to make up for the races he has not attended right now, scoring some good points, as everyone who finishes the race gets some points in this league. So that's a great thing about this league. What's your opinion about everyone scoring points for this league?
I think it's a decent system. I think, it encourages drivers not to just quit as soon as they realise their race is over, because there's always a chance. I mean, I've had it in even races outside this league where you've had, I feel like the race is over or something, then 5 laps ago a safety car comes out and all of a sudden I'm finishing 4th, But it does give some encouragement, as Jay Horses makes an easy move on Rob Williams. See if Rob looks back at him. No chance there. I've noticed Fish Tech has got no overtake left whatsoever, and there's 2 Hasses hunting him very quickly down. Let's have a look. It doesn't look like either of the Hasses will want to make a move on him, though. Hassan should really go around the outside of his teammate here. Why isn't Nolsey yielding on those hard tyres? They're on whole different strategies. They should not be battling. This is not good for that team at all. Big Harv, I think, has retired. Yeah, he has. Start of Sector 1. He's out of the session as well.
Did he crash out, or did he just retire from the session?
He had multiple spins, and I think then just called it a day. You sort of see him flashing up on the track map a lot. So Orion has started to make some inroads here onto the back of Simp, and I think Simp might maybe having to push here. I'm just going to have a quick look at the race director and see their lap differences.
I think what Simpendal is doing right now is trying to maintain his tires to make them last until the long stretch. I mean, you're in the P1 position. Do you want to keep your tires fresh, or do you want to push and try to keep your car on track? I mean, you're always trying to keep your car on track, but whenever you're pushing more, you're going to be having more chances of spinning out. So I think Simpendal is just keeping it easy on track at the moment. Orient is trying to push, although he still lost 3/10 there in Sector 1.
It's interesting, really. I was just looking at the lap delta, and Orion was actually a second quicker than Simpendal on the last lap. But he's going to push quite hard here. But it's probably good that Orion's got some clear air, both in front and behind him at the moment, because he's just got a chance to be able to see his target.
Now down the inside, sorry. Storming down the inside here in turn 9, and it doesn't seem like he can make it stick. Brashman with a better exit through turn 9, and now has quite a big of a lead on Torment through Sector 3 here. 5/10 in between the two. We've got Hassan quite close to his teammate Nolsey. So, well, what would you do here if Hassan was your teammate? You're in Nolsey's position. Would you let him go through as he is on the soft tires, or would you just keep on driving like this?
I would let him go laps ago. I think, it depends how much teammates these guys are. Penalty already for J-Horse for track extensions. To be fair, the soft tyres are nearly out of their usable window anyway now. You can tell that. He's struggling to keep up with the back of Nolsey, who's on 2-step harder tyres than him. So, I mean, I always want to go to Fish Tech, has spun it round. He does just about keep it out the barriers, though. Has he actually got a front wing left? Yes, he does. So he got off of that with just a brown pair of trousers, but he just keep it on the road. Let's see if any more overtakes happening at the moment. There isn't.
Milan spun come out of turn 5, if I'm not mistaken. So he's all the way in P9 at the moment. Lost a couple of positions, if I'm not mistaken. He was in P5, so he lost about 4 positions. So that is definitely going to be frustrating for the Williams driver, as he had a good race here already, but unfortunately didn't succeed to keep his car on track right there. Lost a couple of positions, and now he has to make those positions back up.
Yeah, it's a shame for Milan, really. This is one of the difficulties with Milan. He's got some good pace, but sometimes just tries a little bit too hard, especially when it's a race pace. The thing is that it's not worth trying to gain that extra 0.3 of a second sometimes, because you're just going to cook everything too much, and not only your tyres but cook yourself and make an error. You know, he's been in races before where his pace has been very strong, and all of a sudden he's just sort of dropped it, and he's had mistakes like this. Looking in front of him though, he's got a very good view of Hyundai and Knowlesy going side by side into turn 1. And to be fair, Hassan has managed to get past both the drivers. Knowlesy down to P8 now. Let's go on board with him. He's having to give up these slots, but Hassan has got no overtake left, so I think he'll be dinner for Hyundai going into the left-hander. Hyundai's tapped him. Stupid move there from Hyundai. Yeah, he spun himself round and caused an accident. That was Hyundai's fault there. Could be a chance of a safety car here. Yeah, safety car has come out. You've got, let's have a look, Milan with no front wheel left at all. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there. And did you get a view of that?
Not really, actually. I was looking at I think it was either Nosy or Hassan who were pretty close on making a move. But Sticky, you don't notice yet, as you don't watch the stream very, very much, but it's a safety car, and I've got a certain song when it's a safety car situation.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna be singing that song real quick.
What song is it, in case I know it?
You'll not know it because I made it up myself.
Okay.
It's called the safety car song. All right, ready, guys in the chat? Everyone is coming into the pits first. Maybe we should focus on that before singing the safety car song, though. Orion Lemons now coming into the pits. It seems like Simpendal and Blue New Soul stay out of the pit lane. Jay Haas with another penalty. He already has 2. That might be frustrating.
Those hard tyre runners here have had a difficult decision, because I don't think the mediums will not last. They're going to probably do about 15 laps. So what this has done is forced some of the hard runners to do a 2-stop. This is why the likes of Simp and Blue have stayed out. But the likes of Orion, you see, it made sense for him to go to pit, because he wasn't making any inroads. However, he's had to fall behind Rob Williams, who stays out. So Rob Williams has now taken 3rd place. But Orion should easily dispatch him once this goes green. Fish Tech now on the hards. We've got Brashman in P7, really P6 because of Matt Martin's Ghost on the medium, so he'll be doing a 2-stop now as well. Torment has moved to hards. Now Torment, though, is in a great position here, because Torment can take these tyres to the end. So if he keeps his nose clean here, he's essentially a pit stop clear of the cars in front. So this is just what he needs. I'm just looking at other drivers here. Hassan, for example, as well. This has paid dividends for him too, because you know, starting on those soft tyres, they were just beginning to go off and had no battery left either, and he's now on a nice fresh set of hards taken to the end of the race. So this race has got a little bit more spicy here now, because you've got 2-3 drivers at the top on worn hards who have committed currently to a 1-stop, and then a lot of drivers behind them on a fresh set of boots, just raring to get to take them positions off them.
Yeah, most definitely. Looking at Hassan, he started on those soft tires, already made up 5 positions, and right now he even has made a pit stop and still gained 5 positions. So, was it the right strategy? In my opinion, it was. But also the guys who started on mediums had a good start too. I mean, Torment, as you said, starting on those mediums, went onto the hard tires. He's a pit stop ahead of everyone. I'm not too sure if Simpendal and Blue and Soul are going to be making it till the end of the race. Well, they would be, but depends on when they're going to be coming into the pits though. You know, when you've got a late safety car, those guys are going to be 1 pit stop behind on Orion Lemons and all that stuff, because these guys are probably going to be making that move happen as soon as possible. Orion Lemons, who is on 1 lap old mediums, and he's going to be, well, I'm not going to be saying demolish these guys, but he's going to be having way more pace than the guys he has in front of him. Well, Rob Williams, who was not having a good qualifying, which usually indicates that you don't have a lot of pace on this track. Yeah, he's going to be getting overtaken within the first couple of corners, and then Blue New Soul, Simpendal are going to be battling for that P1 position, and maybe Orion Lemons can snoop away that P1 position. And well, I said I had a song, right? So I'm gonna be singing that real quick. I want full silence from you, so I'm gonna mute you real quick so everyone is able to hear me. All right, here we go, guys. Safety car, this is a safety car situation. Safety car, this is a safety car situation. Everyone is going on a straight line, except for when you're going through the corner. Safety car situation here in Power Grid Racing. That was it. You can speak
That
again.
was that was an interesting thing to hear in my ears. So it's a weird situation for Rob to be in here because I don't know how he wants to. I mean, you know, he's on hard. He's on, you know, pretty worn hards. I mean, the top drivers are going to be on 35% worn hards now, 30% if they're lucky, and you've got a lot of people on fresh head of boots right behind them. So. If I was Rob, I'd almost wouldn't fight this and just try and keep with them as opposed to lose time. Simp's gone. Simp's gone early and he's caught Blue and Soul napping here. Rob has also had a decent exit. Let's have a look here though. Orion already 7 up inside to turn 1. Let's see what he does. Yeah, he just better on the brakes, launches it into turn 1. Rob does yield that one nicely. Brashman managed to get past Matt Martin's Ghost. Have a look, any battles behind. Fish Tech has actually retired in the pit lane, weirdly. But all drivers get through cleanly. J-Haw's looking at a move on the outside of Enstronic into the hairpin. Let's see what he does here. Lacer on the brakes, he's going to try and go around the outside. And Entronsic gives him just enough to make it count. J-Haw's in the slipstream of Hassan as well, going down the back straight. Yeah, this one should be pretty easy down around the outside. You can see how much more wing Enstronic's running. He struggles to keep up with him on the straights, but he does. Oh no, Enstronic looking up the inside. J-Haw's does yield. No, that's a bit close. That is for comfort. That's a good start. That is. Some more of the drivers just about keeping it clean. Blue and Soul has been absolutely gapped though, and Orion's managed to get past Rob Williams. But a good start from Rob, only losing one position there to a driver who's significantly quicker. So he'll be happy with that. He's got to keep his head clear now, as he'll be forced to the one stop, but he's got a good chance and good points now. Let's pass back to you, Tom.
Brashman, who's now trying to make a move around the outside of Rob Williams right there. He makes the move work as he had a better exit coming out of turn 10, turn 13, that was probably, but he has made the move right before the finish line right there. Now we've got Orion Lemons making a move around the outside of Blue and Soul, and it seems like the move has already been done before the corner is there. So yeah, it's looking great for Orion Lemons here as he is one pit stop ahead. Well, sort of, because I mean, is he going to be making it until the end on these mediums? But yeah, Simpendal right now at 10 bolt hards. He is keeping up the pace. Well, he's keeping up the pace with himself. Well, however you want to call it.
I'm just looking here, and Orion's gone purple in the first sector and has already taken 2/10 out of Simp since the first corner alone. I mean, both drivers have, in theory, got one stop left, but you've got Orion on a much fresher boots than him, and it does mean, I think, as well, that Orion, can even run these mediums slightly longer if he needs to get a fresh bit at the end, but Orion should be on the back of Simp pretty quickly, assuming he doesn't make any errors. Looking now, Brashman wants to get P3 off Blue and Soul with an interesting line though. Brashman up the inside on the long left-hander. He just about makes it, stick going side by side into the double right-hander. Brashman must have to yield here. And he does yield. It's a good point. Keep your nose clean. But they are side by side. Knowles has retired though in the middle of the sector behind. That's quite a shame for Knowlesy. And there's a VSC has come out. So does anybody pit? Let's have a look here. Simp pits. So Simp might try and go at the end here. Blue and Soul also pits as well. Anyone else going to try one in the pit lane? Doesn't look like it. No. But was that the right decision to make? I mean, they're going to go to mediums, but I think they'd struggle to do 17 laps on a set of mediums. It'll be close, but another VSC could bring them back into this. The difficulty is that you've got those drivers now on mediums who might be able to go to the end, and you likes of Orion and Brashman on 3-lap-old mediums who will probably not make it. So this race is all dependent now on whether the likes of Simp and Dark and Blue New Soul can make it to the end on these mediums they've just put on. The difference is, the safety car has come out. It's a full course safety car.
Sir, I was about to say it, but you were like, very enthusiastic, saying all your knowledge right there. I was like, I'm gonna keep myself shut and
I
just
was in the
let him
zone.
explore. Yeah, I'm gonna be going for a couple of seconds, so you can take the lead right here, as I will be
Yeah,
back in a
absolutely.
minute or two.
Let's just have a quick check of the have a quick check of the chat. So currently no more messaging in the chat at the moment. So let's have a quick review of who's where. So Orion leading this race, starting from I think what P3 was it. So he's back in the lead now. Brashman though with a decent stint so far, decent first third of the race up into P2. Torment, I'd already be quite surprised to be sat up there. J Hawes as well. I don't think he's pit actually. Is J Hawes pit? Look here. So actually, everybody has pit actually. So J Hawes sitting pretty as well now up in P4. Hassan with a lucky escape starting on those soft tyres. It was an interesting strategy call and it paid off. The problem is that a mix-up, I think, with how the Haas team should have dealt with the difference in tyres. Personally speaking, I think Knowlesy should have just let Hassan go as possible and rear gunned him, giving Hassan as much time as possible to make those use of the soft tyres. But, you know, no harm, no foul. A safety car has brought him back into this. Simp down in P8. He might try and make it to the end on those tyres, but it seems a little bit unlikely. I don't know if he'll be able to make it, but I really will doubt that the top two will make it to the end. But Simp might try this. It might be his only proper chance of getting this win back. Have a look. Blue New Soul, same scenario goes for him. Rob, had a good start up into P3 with the safety car, but has now pit. But again, similar chance. Will he be able to make it to the end? You got the likes of Hyundai, who's actually on 2 stops now. But is that him back on the hards? Let's have a look. No, he's on a fresh set of mediums as well. So and only 11. Matt Martin, who's been DNF for the whole race, he's somehow still. So yeah, it's been a good first 13 laps, to be fair. A decent amount of action and enough carnage to keep us commentators busy. I don't know if you guys want to ask any questions in the chat about what's going on. Palestinian Pocket Rocket in P5, let's go. Hassan says Grey Bush Racing. That's been I like that name. The Palestinian Pocket Rocket, that's a new one. I'll pass back to you, Tom, now you're back.
Yeah, I mean, I just joined and I went to do something real quick, so I have no idea what happened on track or in chat. So, I mean, I'm gonna leave it up to you for a couple of seconds more, so I can
No
zone
worries at
back
all.
into
No
the
worries.
race.
Yeah. So yeah, let's have a think about how the drivers want to do it. Safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. Another quite a short stint here for the safety car, but Orion will be leading, and I expect that Brashman will want to try and keep up with them, or maybe go for a cheeky move up the inside. It's all dependent on the tyre heat. Let's have a look here. Now, looking at the back of Orion's tyres, they're in a decent window, to be fair. Brashman's not as much. You've got 4 degrees, much warmer tyres on the back of Orion, which will help him in the first sector or two of this lap. And they're gone. And Brashman has been caught napping again. Orion's gone. Let's have a look at Torment. Any moves into turn 1? Looks unlikely. J-Horse has extended turn 1 here. Just come on, keep it on the black stuff, Jay. Come on, mate. Let's have a look here. Just Dave might try for a move on the back of Hassan on 1 steps off the tyres. He will get inside here. No, he pulled a feint though. But Hassan having absolutely none of it. Let's see if he gets a better exit than Hassan. Let's have a look. Overtake in full flow here for both drivers. So let's see how good the slipstream is on this track. It's pretty obvious that Just Dave must be using a bit more front wing. He's barely catching up with him, but the brakes on with those medium tyres are just so much better. Simp and Dahl side by side with Entronic. He's going to try and get a better exit here out of the chicane. Let's have an overtake round the outside. What he does? Yeah, that was pretty simple move. Entronic not even fighting that one. He knows where and it's with Simp and Dahl. Let's have a look. I wonder what Blue New Soul wants to do. He wants to try and keep on the back of that Red Bull as long as he can. Willing around the outside of Entronic here. No, he wants for a switchback. Where's he going to set this one up? When they go down the inside into the right-hander, no, he won't. Thinks better of it, to be fair. Might try and square up into turn 1, perhaps. There's a nice little train forming, actually, behind the back of Torment at the moment. All aboard the Torment train, going into the last 2 right-handers of the lap. Someone's dropped it, I think. Let's have a look. It's Rob Williams. No! That's a big shame for Rob. He had a decent race as well underneath him. So let's have a go back on board with the Torment train. J Hawes must be getting frustrated now behind him. J Hawes knows what sort of pace he's got, and it's better than this. Let's see how he copes. Going through this right-hander, he's going to get dirty on the outside. No, he's not. He might side here. Oh, he's going to go for it down the inside into the left-hand hairpin. Both drivers side by side. Just leaves him just enough room. Verstappen, not with your silly dive bombs. Going down the long straight now. Torment might. No, Torment's not even going to try this battle, but Just Dave does. This is a great little start after a safety car. Just Dave down the inside. Oh, Torment thinks better of it. Keeps it around the outside. Nice bit of braking there from Torment. Leaves each the just enough room, and Just Dave's done it. That's a real shame. That's a real shame there for Just Dave. Let's carry on battling though. Tom, do you want to take away the Hassan battle? Go on.
Hassan, yes, Hassan goes down the inside here of Torment. It seems like the move has already been done before I was able to talk about it. Now, Hyundai trying to make that move on in Trans. It seems like he does. Blue and Soul pretty close to Torment. And I do expect Blue and Soul to be very impatient here because he has been behind these guys for a long time already and he wants to make that move as soon as possible. So I do expect him to either make a move in Sector 1 or maybe even still in Sector 3, as it is only going to be one more corner right here, which is going to be the last one, of course. Now, down the main straight, he has a little bit of DRS. He's going to go around the outside. He's going to shove it around the outside. It seems like Torment breaks a little bit too late to keep that position. Beautiful defense by the Alpine right there. But still, he is getting chased from behind. Blue and Soul is making it stick around the outside. Is he going to be out breaking the Alpine driver? It seems like he does. He's going to make a switchback work, but he still has a better
as well.
exit. Hyundai.
Hyundai getting impatient. Yeah, this is going to be 3 abreast now. Going the chicane. Both drivers with DRS. Torment is going to be a sitting duck unless he decides to outbrake everybody down this corner. No, he's given up with that one. But Hyundai with the double overtake. Fantastic move from Hyundai. He'll be happy with that one. Let's hope he keeps it on the black stuff. Oh, nice bit of exit there. Doesn't look like Blue and Soul has a chance at the moment. Let's have a look. No, even with DRS, not even a chance there. As Enstronic gets past Torment as well. It's a bit of a shame there for Torment. He was having a decent start. Let's have a look here as well. Looks like Simpendar managed to dispatch J-Horse and all of that carnage behind as well. It wasn't really much of a surprise. I mean, Simpendar steps off the tyres, and I think a faster driver at this moment of the race. So he will now be hunting down Brashman and Orion like a dog to a bone.
I mean, still 9-lap-old mediums are not going to be too degraded, I'm afraid. So whenever they're passing the 20-lap mark of the race, I think they're going to start to experience some troubles. But for the moment, I don't think he's going to be gaining too much time. Maybe he can bring Jay Haas with him and just have that last couple of laps battle, because Jay Haas will have the fresher tires at the end of the race, but Simpendal might be up for a good battle with that track position he has. Although into Sector 2, you're going to have two DRS detection points and 2 DRS opportunities. So is he going to be able to keep that position from Jay Haas? That is going to be the question. That is something we will need to wait for. I mean, we need to be patient as we're looking at Hyundai at the moment, trying to make that move on Hassan. But Hassan is knowing better as he has a better exit through turn 7. Hyundai, who had a little bit of a snap, now Blue and Soul with the use of not DRS, because the DRS has not been enabled yet. Isn't it?
I think it has been, but the Palestinian pocket rocket has not got enough overtake to make that one last. What a move! Round the outside of the long left-hander there. That was a nice move there from Hyundai, setting that one up so far away. Hassan's going to begin to struggle here, though, with just not enough VRS to be able to handle any sort of defending. Blue New Soul is going to be all over him here, and he extends that second to last. Going into the third to last corner. Hassan's got to be looking in his mirrors now. Just, solid green Aston Martin filling them up. Let's have a look here. Blue New Soul wants to get by and probably get by them both, really. He needs to be getting further up onto the back of J-Horse as fast as possible. Simpendal has already taken a second and a half out of Brashman, though, so he's already in the back of his DRS. But the crucial thing is that he's over 6 seconds behind Orion already. No, Simp, as much as he's been a busy boy, he has not been able to get as close as I expect he wanted to on the back of the AlphaTauri. So have a look here. Blue New Soul looking to overtake. Go on, this is on you.
Blue and Soul now down the inside here with the use of DRS and ERS. Quite of an easy move there going into turn 6, as I don't see Hassan getting back that position. Maybe with the use of DRS here if he has a good exit, but it seems like Blue and Soul had a way better exit coming out of that corner. He is 6 tenths behind the Aston Martin driver right now, and it doesn't look like that is going to be a move. Pitch Techman, who's left the session right there, going back to Rob Williams, who is 6 tenths behind just Dave. Doesn't look like that is going to be an opportunity to make a move. Simpendal is quite close to Brashman right here in sector 3, though. Maybe in sector 1, sector 2. You might be able to make that move work, as I'm going to leave that up to you.
Yep, I mean, just looking at the battery amount, Brashman's saved up a lot of battery for this. He's got 60% on board, and Simp's down to 50. Brashman's been expecting this. It's a case of how long he can keep him behind. Let's just see what he decides to do. This will be over before the hairpin, maybe. It depends how impatient Simp wants to be. Will he dive bomb him before the DRS, or play it safe? Yeah, he's going to play this one safe, surely. Yeah, Simp's thinking better of it here. He just wants to get that DRS and dispatch him as quickly and as safely as possible. Much better exit than Brashman, though. Brashman will not even deploy overtake here. He doesn't even see this as a chance. But Brashman, though, will still be happy sitting in P3 with his teammate 1.8 behind. So this now means that Simp can now just begin to eke that 6-second lead onto the back of Orion. Interesting to see how he does. I mean, these tyres are, 4 laps younger, I think, or something than Orion's. Have a quick look here. Let's have a look. Tyres, yeah, they're 4 laps younger, so I don't expect this will last very long. Gap's already down to 5.7. Simp's got a point to prove here. Let's see what he does onto the back of the AlphaTauri, with Brashman hoping to stick in DRS for as long as possible, but if he pushes too hard, he'll make a mistake, and it's probably better for Brashman that he just settles into P3 and it has some clean air.
I mean, we had Jay Hawes, who was able to keep up with the pace of Simpendal, but it looks like he kind of missed his toe right there. I mean, he's not keeping up the pace with Brashman, and Simpendal now tries to close down the gap on his teammate, but still on those hard tires, you would expect that the more they're going into further into the race, he's going to be faster than those medium tire runners, as he can take the stint a little bit longer, but it doesn't seem like he is keeping up with the guys up front, and that's quite remarkable. So yeah, quite interesting. Now looking at the back here, is just Dave's going to try and make that move on Matthew, as Matthew is of course not in his car. Grey Bush Racing, I'll be back, boys. New sim rig just showed up. Very great. What sim rig do you use?
I currently use the G29 attached to just like a rig I got from an online shop, like a rig. So I was thinking of moving to a Fanatec that had a bit more, spare cash available. But the G29 at the moment is what I've been using. It's been a quite reliable, good wheel, to be honest. But the likes of Che, I know Che runs the Fanatec DF, the direct drive GT one. So that's why he's cheating, I think, because he's using direct drive. Speaking of cheating, Simpendal gap down to less than 5 seconds now, and interestingly as well, Jay Hawes has started to catch him onto the back of Brashman. So it's a weird thing with Jay Hawes. He's always been very quick, and I think if he just spent a bit more time on the game, he'd be able to keep it on the road as well. Jay Hawes always been formidably quick. I have not been able to keep up with him yet. Commentator's curse nearly kicking in there as you lose. And speaking of commentator's curse, just Dave has dropped it, but he comes in the pits. He has got a front wing left. Matt Martin in the pits. Rob Williams carries on, though. Jay Hawes must be hoping to get by Brashman now. It's a real shame, actually, as just Dave retires from P12. So he leaves 10 drivers left on the grid now, though. There's been a lot of accidents so far. Jay Hawes actually not really gaining on Brashman much at the moment. And to be fair, actually, as well, Simp has been struggling to gain a gap onto the back of Orion. Let's have a look. Oh, Orion has been using a bit of battery, though, just to show Simpendal who's boss. I'm interested to see how his tyre wear is going to be, though. I'm looking forward to seeing how seeing that graphic pop up.
Right now, looking at Jay Hawes, who's got still that 6-second time penalty. So even if he makes that move work on Brashman, he still has 6 seconds to make up before he can actually take that P3 for granted. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult task for Jay Hawes, as he's kind of struggling to make the overtake work. And even if you make that overtake work, are you going to be able to keep your teammate behind by 6 seconds? I'm not too sure, though. Tormund who is trying to keep up with Transgear in P9 and P8. So we're going to be having a quick look there. Maybe J Haas first, as he's only 3 tenths behind his teammate here. He goes a little bit wide.
Extending turn 1.
Yeah,
all
that
the
was
time,
quite
extending
interesting.
the outside of turn 1. It should be beneficial here for the Merc boys to do what the Hash should have done and just slipstream each other down. Brashman should not be defending this. But to be fair, though, these guys aren't really teammates. After all, J-Haw's only a reserve. So will they want to fight? Let's have a quick look here. Brashman is using overtake. This is going to be a little scrap. This is side by side into the chicane. J-Haw's overslip pulls out to the right. Brashman must be later on the brakes. Have a look. He does. Side by side through the chicane, leaving each other just enough. J-Haw's coats with this. Still side by side. Lovely bit of battling. Boys there. Oh, this is brilliant. This is just what the doctor ordered now, going down into the end of the middle. Brashman finally yields, as he hasn't got DRS enough overtake to carry on, but these boys should really focus on moving the gap forward and just keeping a decent gap to Veloster behind. After all, J-Hawes, you know, he's one of the drivers that can make it to the end pretty easily here. So, in theory, he might still be net leader this race, only, 10 seconds behind Orion. If both of the cars in front of him have to pit, J-Hawes is still looking at a win here and possibly a Mercedes 1-2 in the last race of the season. Let's have a quick think here. As Simp gets the gap down to 3.5 seconds now with 7 laps to go. It'd be interesting to see whether Orion can keep this out. He's definitely tyre saving, Orion is now. He's just lifting slightly through those fast chicane just to keep the temperature slightly lower, but it is hurting the time to the car behind. Simp is just taking tenths and tenths and tenths out of him.
And it seems like Grey Bush says in the chat, early Christmas boy. So, I mean, it is May and he's already thinking about Christmas. I mean,
is it not a late Christmas? Is that not... Surely it'd be late as opposed to early. First half of the year still.
True. I do have to say, I was in my classroom earlier. I was thinking, like, actually, it's almost Christmas again. Like, those first 5 months went past so fast. So.
Exactly. I mean, you think about it, it was the winter solstice, middle of March, and then, night's drawing in now, not till 9 o'clock. That'll be it. Soon be Christmas. Halloween's in about 3 months away, if you think.
That is crazy if you think about it. Yeah, I still believe that Christmas was yesterday, so it feels like Christmas was yesterday. No, Christmas, Halloween.
Halloween. So, just catching back up to this race, Simpendal now, that gap's nearly 2 seconds. Orion must be sweating now. Just waiting for Simpendal to start making moves. J-Hawes has now started to gap Brashman behind, but Hyundai is just beginning to catch up. So fingers crossed Brashman will do J-Hawes a favour here and hop as much as he can. But I expect to be I don't know how long this battle between Orion and Simp will take. The sort of pace Simp's been displaying here, I doubt Orion will have an answer to this at all. He's just so much quicker. And, it's not even like Orion's got any battery left to play with either, really. Speaking of a battle, though, Hyundai on the back of Brashman. Let's see how Brashman defends here. He did a good defence on J-Hawes. If he can repeat that, he'll do a little bit of a favour. Hyundai trying to... Will he dive him here? No, he won't, but he will be a little bit later on the brakes. Yeah, he's done that chicane nicely before Brashman, parking it just where he wanted. Early on the throttle here, early on the overtake. Gonna have to make this stick, but Brashman's got so much straight line speed. Look at that. Barely even making the move stick. His Hyundai's going to fall. The tight line to play fair. They're still side by side. Oh, Hyundai had to yield there. There's a little bit of understeer, but they're still going side by side to the double right-hander. This is a close little scrap. And he's gone on the inside. Nice move there by Hyundai, but Brashman's having none of it. And they've touched again. But this is doing so many favours here as Orion pits. Orion's had to pit. So this gives Simpendal the lead and means put J-Hawes into P2. And Brashman's finally yielded. What a battle between these two. That was a great little scrap.
Taking that coming into the pits from Orion's into consideration, that means that those tires are really gone at lap 17. Now, if you take that in consideration, Simpendal is going to come across the line when he has done 17 laps on those medium tires. So do you think he's gonna make them stick until the end of the race?
I don't think he has any choice now. He's got to make it work. I think it's either this is it. Oh, speaking of, there's been a spin though. Who spun it? It's J Hawes. After all that, J Hawes has spun it on the back, going onto the onto the long straight. That's a real shame for him. He had such a chance there to get some good positions, but no, I don't really think Simp's got any choice now. He's got to keep this out. You know, Orion will already be hunting down that gap between the two of them. So, yeah, I think if Simp and Dahl just backs the pace off a bit, even sacrifices 2 seconds a lap, he'll be happy to lose that sort of gap to Hyundai. He's got 12-second lead. He can just sort whatever pace he likes now and just bring this home.
Soul right now on the tail of Brashman, only 3/10 between the two, as it is going to be the Brashman defending that P3 position. So is it going to be one of the first, well, I'm not going to be saying one of the first podiums of Brashman during the season, but I haven't seen many of them, which I can remember though. He
won the race in Singapore, didn't he?
I also think he had a good race in Hungary, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, a decent race I think there as well, to be honest, but interesting though, I think for the first time ever, me and Shea Oliver will not be on the podium, as in each one of us on the podium. I don't think there's actually been a race yet where neither of us have been on the podium. Brashman goes wide, he's doing some dirt rally there as he goes wide, and somehow, Blue and Soul just gets the DRS detection behind the back of Brashman. J-Hawes on the back of this. J-Hawes has spun it again. Oh, J-Hawes. It's a real shame for him. Brashman might slip a chance here. Blue and Soul's had to dump all his battery, and Brashman knows that. So let's see what Brashman does. Will he just charge his battery up a little bit more? As Blue and Soul will probably try and dispatch him as fast as possible. Yeah, Blue and Soul's gone. He's just absolutely left him behind. And you can actually see, I mentioned earlier about how slow Simpandal is driving now. Hyundai is now catching him up. That's how slowly Simp's driving now to just get these tyres to the end. So, and they look marbled. You can see if you go on board with him, those tyres are absolutely second hand now. But there's no choice in, but he has no choice but to stay out. If he risks a puncture, it's probably going to be a better result for him than finishing 8th after pitting. So all he wants is these tyres to make it, and he's so light. They're taking a lap out of him at the moment. And speaking of, look at Orion already on the back of Brashman again. He'll be having him here probably even before the hairpin, unless he plays it differently. Oh, Orion near the back of Brashman. That's how much better his tyres are. He can brake 30 metres later and not have to lift, and he's just hit Brashman off the track, I think there. Yeah, he's waiting for it.
Oh my days.
Oh dearie me. Hassan,
what was that?
The Palestinian pocket rocket takes P4, and Enstronic wants to have a whiff at this position himself. That was a silly overtake for both of those two. What was going on there?
That was like a Hamilton Verstappen kind of thing in Saudi Arabia.
Exactly. Now I'm back at Enstronic. He's going to. I think Brashman's actually given up the race here. I think. Yeah, Brashman's got a puncture, I think, or he's just. Yeah, he does. Brashman has a puncture from that, I think. All Brashman's tyres have gone, and if they've gone, when he pit the same tyre as
Simpandal now around the outside. My apologies, but he makes that move on Hassan right there. Jay Haas is trying to. Oh no, hold up. It's a three-way battle for Orions and Hassan and Intronsic here. Orions is now trying to make that move on his teammate right here, and I'm not too sure if he's gonna let him go through. I know that Intronsic is kind of a fighter around here. He's not been a teammate to Orion Lemons that much, but right now still keeping that position up. Orion Lemons, who's running 2-lap-old mediums, and Intronsic, who's defending that position on 19-lap-old hards. Coming back to you.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good little scrap to watch. Let's see what happens between these two AlphaTauri, but this should not last long unless there's a problem, as Hyundai stacks it in the first sector. So that's it, he's had an accident. That means Blue and Soul back up into P2, and this is now a fight for the podium. So on Orion Lemons, why? Orion's being left no room and a bit less as well there. And Stronzik had defending this like they're not even teammates. This is some decent defending here from Stronzik, leaving them just enough space. But this should be over now as Orion goes for the overtake around the outside with DRS, unless Stronzik wants to get the DRS back on him. See how this gets played out. Into the chicane now. He's going to square the corner off a bit better. No, the amount of grip Orion's got compared to them is just insane. Yeah, Orion's gone, but it's only got 3 seconds now to Blue and Soul. Come on, Blue and Soul, get that podium.
I do think he's gonna get that podium anyway, as Intronsic is running 20 lap old hards, but even if he gets overtaken by Orion Lemons, he's still gonna score a good bunch of points. So good race by Blue and Soul. I mean, he had a little bit of a few battles with a couple of guys, if I remember quite well. He had Brashman, he had J Halls, all those guys, and Intronsic during the middle of the race, and right now still keeping up with Simpendal kind of on those 16 lap old mediums. So yeah, a good race from the Aston Martin driver, but he is most definitely probably going to get overtaken by Orion Lemons. It's going to be a last lap battle between these two, and I think it's all going to be depending on who is going to take that DRS strategy into consideration, because I mean, if Blue and Soul is going to have that DRS down the second sector 2 straight, he's going to be making that move, as Orion is going to try and make that move already here on the Aston Martin driver. Blue and Soul will have the DRS, but Orion's
didn't get a good enough exit though, did he? Yeah. I saw what he was trying to do, and he tried his best, but those tyres. Oh no! Look at the overspeed Blue and Soul's got. He might still have this in the bag. He might just yield and just concentrate on taking home that third place. Scrap behind us, Jay Hawes and Hassan go side by side through the chicane. Hassan wants a better exit. The Panasonian Pocket Rocket wants a better exit. Jay Hawes has managed to get a decent traction out of a corner for once, and it's paid dividends out of the chicane, as he probably might be able to retain that P5 now. And I'm just going to have to go on board here with Simp, because he's deserved this. We haven't really much this race. 13 seconds clear of the car behind. He's done this to absolute perfection, this strategy, as he comes round the final corner now, and he's going to take victory, and he's actually going to weave across the line, takes victory in Abu Dhabi. Orion coming out over to P2. Is there any more scraps at the end of the race? Let's have a look here. J Horse can't see anything. Takes P2, Blue New Soul takes P3, Entronsic P4, J Horse P5 after some penalties though. Where will he finish? P7. Torment P6, Hassan P5. He'll be happy with that result, considering that's a very good race from him. This is the point. You see, you keep it clean, and you make just by not spinning round. That's what happened with Hassan today. That was a good little race.
Yes, sir. Most definitely, we're seeing from the guys who are currently in P4, P5, P6, P7, P8, P9. All those guys have gained a good couple of positions here during this race. So yeah, it's most definitely keeping it consistent around here in Abu Dhabi rather than the pace. I mean, the pace is going to win you races, but the consistency is going to win you championships. As usually when you're consistent, you're going to be scoring some good points, especially with this point system here in this league. And, you know, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Intronsic, for example, being in the top 5 just because he's consistent. You know, I mean, you guys, I mean, you're Stiggy, Che Oliver, you guys are both consistent and fast, but sometimes you can pop in a DNF right there, and I think that's something that Intronsic has mastered really well right there. Keeping it consistent, just finishing in the points every race, which he can. So yeah, a great race from all of those drivers.
Could not agree more with that. Yeah, I mean, I forgot who said this, but to finish first you have to finish. You know, and that proves it exactly. That's an unlikely result considering who we said at the start of this race. But I think Simp will be happy to close this season out with yet another win. Where does that put him in the championship? Is he even on the top? So Simp isn't even in the top 10 at the moment, but that'll give him some decent points. I think, if I'm not mistaken, where's Blue New Soul going to finish? So Blue New Soul will retain his P3 in the championship with Brashman P4. And Orion finishing second, I think will put him up to possibly even the likes of P6, maybe even higher up. Let's see how that plays out once the standings are done tomorrow. But yeah, good little race there. Do you want to finish this off then? Take us through the results.
Well, we still have a lead race to do, so I'm going to be going through this very quickly, and then we need to switch over. So the top 3 is going to be Simpendal, Orion Lemons, and Blue and Soul. Further, we've got Intronsic, Hassan Torment, Jay Haas, Matthew Martin, who unfortunately wasn't there today, Rob Williams in P9, and Brash P10. All the other guys have DNF'd. Unfortunately, Milan, who had a kind of a disappointing race right there at the beginning of the race. But we're going to be switching over. I'm going to mute myself and Mr. Stiggy for a couple of seconds, and we will be right back with you. Alright guys, welcome back. We're back in it again. I'm gonna be lowering down my music real quick. Here we go. So it is gonna be a safety car situation, and it seems like every time I'm switching between champion division and elite division, there's gonna be a safety car. As I'm gonna be enabling the voice of Sticky back again. Probably not joined the session yet, but he will be soon.
Yep, I'm here.
There we go. So taking a look at the where is it? The safety car is coming in already.
In this lap. So let's have a quick look through and shall we see who's on what. So biggest improvements so far are Stock in P2 with up 9, Sticky up 12 in P5. Biggest losers, Grim Sleeper, Trouser as well. Oh, Trouser down to from a P7 start down to P12. But so what? 6 laps to go. Let's just see who's on what tyre. Everyone's on a 1 stop apart from Sticky, who's 2 stopped, and Bergeron as well on 2 stops. So this could get pretty spicy. I'll let you take this lap away.
Yes, sir. So off we go. Starting lap 24. After this one, this safety car restart is gonna be a banger. As Taylor Danny is going right coming out of that corner. Stocky is quite close to Bab right there as he is running some fresh mediums right here. Bergen is going to be on the perfect strategy right here as he's going to be able to take those until the end of the race. So is Bob and Scotty though, but it is going to be very risky for overheating and just tire degradation in general. Bergen pretty close to his teammate. I wonder who's going to let him go through. Trouser makes the move on Tuk Tuk right there, as it seems like Samiladas and Chain Knight Rider are going side by side. Chain Knight Rider takes that position, and we've got Aceman spinning. Stocky, who lets his teammate goes past Bob, who has made the move on Stock right there, and there's a yellow flag in sector 2. 2 drivers have been caught right there. It seems like that's going to be Metaxakis and Aceman. Stocky with Stock. All these names, bro. It's confusing me. Stock was a good exit coming out of turn 7 right now. Will not have the DRS yet. We'll have a little bit of slipstream, but it's not going to be enough. Back to you.
Yeah, it's been a decent first lap, to be fair, from these boys. Just for context for the difference in pace, these guys are around a second to a second and a half a lap slower than the Champions tier top runners, which isn't really a lot. So they've got a little bit of room to improve. But some of these drivers will be in Champions tier next game and therefore season. I'm just riding on board with Stock, who's looking quite fiery at the moment. Let's see who else making any moves. There's like the top 5 are just starting to disappear. We've got Berger as well. Bergeron, I'm going to say Bergeron.
Burger.
He's running Berger, running plus 4 laps of fuel. This guy is going on holiday after this race in this car. Let's have a look. So we've got Riddler just beginning to start hunting down the back of Sticky. Chaz Knight Rider on the softs as well, so you might be looking racy. New Era, and then you got Trouser looking ready around the outside. This takes dash moves channel here from Manic. Let's see how he squares. He's gonna not even dump his battery yet. He's being quite efficient on his battery here, actually. He's just waiting for a chance. Maybe he sees some carnage up in we don't see yet. Let's have a look. And you've got New Era. Look at the inside of Chaz Knight. Oh, there's the carnage. He's gonna go get a Knight. He's gonna square off this chicane. Love traction. He's gonna dump a lot of battery here to get in the slipstream with Chaz. Let's see how he behaves. Where's he gonna go? Though, boxed in. Surely there's a move on the outside here of the Alpha. Around the outside goes Manic. Is there enough room? Just about. As they go side by side, let's go on board with New Era now. Oh, nice move there from Trouser. Lovely. He's going to set his sights now on the back of Chaz, and then the Mercedes in the Martin in front of him. This is now going down to 4 laps to go. 4 or 5 laps to go for these boys. This has been some good racing so far. I've only just joined. Chaz running wide into the final corner though, and we've got DRS down being labelled by the lead car, so expect a little bit more of a taking from these boys. Still on board with Manic at the moment as the Grim Sleeper sets a 1:27.0. That's a good speed, that is, from Grim Sleeper. Expect him possibly in Champions next season with that sort of pace. Trousers still looking on the back of Chaz Knight Rider. He's enjoying the Chaz's gearbox at the moment. Will he look around the outside of the hairpin? Oh, he's a bit different, Manic. He just about keeps it from sending Chaz's gearbox to the next postcode, but he will get a dose of DRS and still no attack from New Era behind. You've got the Riddler winner overtake left, and Chaz might be looking at a move here down the inside. He doesn't. I'm going to pass back to Tom here, so I'm going to take some water and a breath of oxygen.
Yeah, I was taking a quick look at Scotty and Taylor here as Scotty is trying to go down the inside as Taylor had some troubles getting past Bergen, kind of lost a little bit of traction right there. Scotty now down the inside here. Is he going to be tapping the Williams driver? It doesn't seem like it. There was a slight tap, but it didn't look too significant right there. So Taylor Danny is going to be keeping this position with his 13-lap-old mediums, but I wonder how fast Bergen is going to be making this move on Bob. 4-lap-old mediums compared to 9-lap-old mediums. I wonder what tires are going to be better. Of course, the 4-lap-old mediums are, but both drivers have got a penalty right there. So they might be losing a position to Taylor Danny anyway. So the battle that's been going on between Taylor Danny and Scotty might decide whether they're going to be getting this race win or not.
Going back on board now with Trouser, who's got a fantastic little look at what's going on in front of him. So many cars with no... And he's on 33%. He'll be happy boy looking at this. Will he... Look at so many red lights flashing about. It's deep again. Chaz's tyres must be absolutely ruined, and they're so hot as well. You can see if you go on board with Chaz, if you look at his dashboard, he's running 100-degree front right tyre temperatures. That's really near the window on the carcass heat. Trouser might go around the outside here. He's going to go around deep around the outside. Will stop? Yes, he will. Trouser get shunted out though. Actually, who spun it? Cordo Andres dropped it sector 1. So Trouser now has ran out of DRS and ERS now, but there's still so many cars in front of him that could have an accident. This is some seriously fun racing. There's Bresh now in front. Let's go on board with Chaz here to get a good in this. The Riddler and Sticky side by side, both of them overtake Chaz on these softs, hit him. Does he look up the inside of Sticky here? Yes, he does. That's a bit of on there's contact. Trouser managed to avoid the accident around the outside. Into the double left-hander. So that's Trouser to P8. Sticky gets a penalty as well, so that's one more for Manny, because Sticky is going to be getting angry now. He's had a difficult start, and he's ran wide once more as Berger goes fast. 26.5 from Berger. That's some brilliant speed there from the leader. The leading Aston Martin has just pieced the scene with the amount of speed this guy's got. Passing back to Tom.
Looking at Trouser right now, the McLaren driver, as he is right on the tail of Stocky. I wonder whether Stocky is going to be capable of keeping this position from Trouser Schnauzer. I mean, Trouser Schnauzer, his fastest lap, he is up by 2/10 on his own fastest lap at the moment. Armand in the chat is saying, go on, Stiggy. There we go, we've got a Stiggy fan. But Trouser now around the outside of Stocky. He is going to be making a move right before the corner is there. Is he going to be trying to make that late switchback work? Doesn't look like it's Stock who is defending the position from the Riddler. The Riddler goes a little bit wide.
No,
has
Trouser's
contact with...
Oh, no, and Trouser's out. Shit. He just got a little bit too cocky on the exit there. Thought he saw a gap. That's Trouser. He'll be pissed in the chat. You wait for that one. Let's have a look here. And Chaz, look at the outside pass. Will he make it stick? Nuira goes a little deep. Chaz actually has front wing damage. I didn't realise that. Just going on board with Sticky as well. His tyres are mangled. That front right hard has definitely seen better days. Everyone's tyres really looking definitely past their best, apart from the two leaders. Berger has just disappeared. He will see you later. Let's go on board now with Scotty, who's doesn't look like he's got a chance actually, but he's just like his pace is going well. Even his tyres are hot. These guys are running really hot tyres. To be fair, this will not be helping their longevity and top speed at all across a lap. Any fights going into the last lap? Looks like the Stock Sticky Riddler fight might be the one to go on board with. Take this one out, Tom.
Sorry, I was reading the chat. My apologies. New era right now behind Chaz Knight Rider, as it is almost going to be a move last lap battle, but Chaz Knight Rider backs out as his soft tires are probably going to be out of here. He's going to throw them back in the bin when he comes into the pit lane. But yeah, I mean, those
Chaz wants it. He sees it. He's sniffing it. Round the outside into the chicane. That's not wrong. Definitely fit the middle finger there. As he's going, no, down the inside, he's made it stick. What a move! He's something out of nowhere. Left, right, good night there. This is a fantastic little scrap between these two boys. That Alfa Romeo is suffering though. Lack of front left wing on board that Alfa. Grim Sleepers definitely seeing this. Oh, there's another Alfa Romeo's popped up out of nowhere on a hard tyre. This is a four-man scrap for P8 now. Everyone's gone wide. This is a great little scrap. Who's gonna get impatient here? Everyone gets impatient. All the Alfa Romeo of who's gone board with the winner. And Berger wins it. Bab's going to finish P2. Scotty takes home a gentle P3. Any more scraps at the end of this race? Doesn't look like it. New Era. Yeah, this is going to finish off. So we've got Stott in P6, Sticky P7. Chaz takes home P8, followed by New Era just about. The Grim Sleeper, though, with no penalties, moves up to P8. New Era clearly had a lot of penalties on board, finishing P11. And that's the end of the race. And I think I need a breath after that one. Pass it back.
Best race ending, best season ender I have ever seen. These guys have made it as an exciting race until the last lap, the last corner, the last race of the season. I can only say thank you to everyone who has been here since the beginning of the season, who has been here trying to well support the stream and all that stuff. We've got Bergen with the fastest lap too, 126.5, and we're gonna get through the grid for the last time here during this season, season 5. It was a great season. Bergen in P1, Bob in P2, and we've got Scotty in P3. Further, we've got the Riddler, Stock, Taylor Danny, Chaz Knight Rider, the Grim Sleeper, Stocky, Tuk Tuk. Further, we've got the New Era, Racing, Aceman, Samiladas, Kaiser Snizer, who did not make it until the end of the race, that last couple of laps. And then we have got the Prince, Metaxakis, Basin, and Ross to finish off the race. So, guys, this was gonna be your elite race. Anything to add, Stiggy?
Yeah, well, that was a pleasure commentating both races. I'm just looking through the race. Right, it was an intermediate start for these boys. You've got some people with 4 stop strategies. 5 stop, is it almost for a couple of them? You've got the likes of Cordno and Mekatasis on going 3 inters to mediums to 2 softs. This race must have been pure carnage for these boys, but they still managed to pull out a fantastic 7 laps and a brilliant fastest lap there from Berger, 26.5. That's some brilliant speed there. Honourable mentions for the racing from today. I'm going to give some good points there to Chaz Knight Rider for making it quite exciting there with those softs on that Alpha. That was a great little scrap from everyone involved, so well done, and it's been a pleasure commentating both of those races today.
Yes, sir. I can only say the same. The Riddler, who actually came from P12 up to a P4, and Starkey from P11 to P5.
Big winners also there, yeah.
Yes, sir. So they are getting the drivers of the day from my end. And also you guys are getting the viewers of the day, of the season, of the evening by us. Well, we thank you very much for watching. Actually, Oscar, well, Bergen right now puts in the chat, you guys can call me Oscar. My in-game name is Bergen. There we go. So Oscar.
Well, congratulations, Oscar, on the win. That was a great drive. Brilliant pace as well. I'm sure we might be seeing you in Champions next season with that sort of speed. So I'll be sure to keep my eye on you, mate. Good job.
Yes, sir, guys. So I'm going to be ending the stream here. I thank you very much for watching. It has been a stream of 1 hour and 40 minutes. So my girlfriend is going to be calling me already because I was supposed to be calling her already. So that's what's up. Yeah, guys, anything to add? Sticky, do you want to say something to the viewers?
Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for all drivers that we've streamed and commentated on. Well, you've streamed and commentated on this season. Yeah, I mean, from what I can see, there's been some good racing from the Champions tier, and clearly if this race was a representation of what we see in Elite, then I clearly need to do some commentating more often. That was some good racing from these boys as well. So I'm going to sign off there, and thank you all for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much to you too, Stiggy, for your time, as I'm going to be shutting off the stream right here. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. This was Phoebe, Thomas, and Stiggy, the TNT combination. Yeah, thank you very much. Peace out.
Cheers, guys.